Raider Nation, what's going on? I know it's not the same background. I actually filmed this video on our main YouTube channel over on Chat Sports, but y'all been absolutely killing it, so I wanted to get you an extra video today. The topic of discussion that I want every single person that comes across today's show, what do we do with Alex Leatherwood? We're going to get into the latest news. We'll get into the latest rumors. Do you keep him? Type K. Do you trade him? Type T, or do you end up cutting him? Type C. What do the Raiders do with number 70? Alex Leatherwood rumors and Alex Leatherwood trade destinations. Today's show is presented by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. And with fall right around the corner, it's important that you guys find the right people to put on your team. We're a small business here at Chat Sports, so it's definitely essential for us to make sure we're finding the right candidates. Not only the right candidates, but finding them quicker and faster, and you can actually post your job for free. All you got to do is go to linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That link is going to be available for you all down in the comments and in the description of today's video. So the reason why I'm making this is because the Las Vegas Raiders back in the 2021 NFL Draft with the 17th overall pick select Alabama offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood. And ever since then, it has been a little bit ugly. There was a report that came out on Thursday that said all options are on the table for Leatherwood, meaning he could be traded and he could be cut. So what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at some PFF numbers. We're going to look at some stats for him. We will get into some teams that could potentially make that deal. But what's really important here is the contract. So when you think about the deal, if cut, the Raiders would lose $4.59 million and a dead cap hit of $7.86 in 2022. So cutting him doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, if traded, the Raiders would save $1.31 million this year, and you would have a $1.96 million dead cap hit. Whatever team decided to make the deal for the former Crimson Tide offensive lineman, they're only going to owe him $1.31 million for this season. So for me personally, I do a lot of shows here at Chat Sports. It makes zero sense for the Raiders to cut Leatherwood. If you're going to move on from him, get a fourth-round pick for him at least. If you can't get a fourth-round pick for Leatherwood, I don't think that you should move on from him. I have said up here before on the Raiders Report, on Chat Sports Program, and I've said I had him as a third-round offensive tackle prospect. I did have him, though, as a fringe round 1, round 2 offensive guard prospect. So when I saw the latest report out there that the Raiders staff was going to potentially move him to offensive guard, I was excited. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Why? Because that's where you should put him. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, you're never going to get a fourth-round pick for him. I disagree. I really, truly believe if you put him in the right situation with a good offensive line coach like Carmen Brasillo, you can get a lot better version of Alex Leatherwood as a guard than what you've seen from him as an offensive tackle. Because, let's face it, it's been bad thus far in the preseason. The Raiders' first game in the NFL Hall of Fame game against the Jags, according to PFF, 18 snaps, 72.2 overall grade. That's not bad. 78.9 run blocking grade, 60.9 pass blocking grade. I don't think he can pass block, especially as a tackle, but he has that physicality to be a good run blocker. Well, let's look at the game against the Vikings. This is the second preseason game for the Silver and Black. 31 snaps, 59.0 overall, 55 run blocking, 67.3. Well, what about the Miami Dolphins game? This is the one that literally just sent the internet on fire. 55.3 pass blocking grade on 42 snaps. So far in the preseason, Leatherwood has competed on 91 snaps, has given up 1 sack, 4 hurries, and 7 pressures. Last season, as a rookie, and let's just face it, he got thrown out there on an island. He did not have a lot of help whatsoever, but a 45.0 overall grade, a pass blocking grade of 29.0. I mean, that's not grades that you're going to put on the fridge. Maybe for some of you, but for me personally, my dad would kick my you-know-what if I brought those home. Now, for stats-wise, he had 14 penalties, a lot of just dumb penalties, 8 sacks allowed, 17 hits, 65 pressures. He has struggled, no doubt about it. And a lot of people would say, you know what? Maybe if the Raiders had LinkedIn, they could have hired or drafted the right guy. Luckily for you, if you're trying to operate a small business, we got you covered. Post your jobs for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. For me personally, and I know a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, I found Chat Sports on LinkedIn all the way back in 2017. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. So hiring, y'all, it's just the beginning. Remember, it's linkedin.com/NFL Daily, which you guys can find in the comments and in the description of today's video. You can create a free job posting in minutes on LinkedIn. Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job and the purple hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Now again, I understand how difficult it can be to be looking for new hirees. I remember when we were 4 people here at Chat Sports. Now we're up to 20. Why? We've made the right decisions. Let LinkedIn help you. I know this. It's helped out Chat Sports. We got over 300,000 subs for a reason. We got a bunch of channels, over 1 million subs combined. We hired the right people. So the reason why this whole Alex Leatherwood news is coming up is because cut date's right around the corner, where you got to go from 80 and you got to get down to the 53-man roster by August 30th, 4 p.m. Eastern time. For this brand new regime with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, they're not really owing him anything. The fact that they just traded away Kenyon Drake, they're going to eat money there. Like, maybe this team's just like, I don't care. If you're not good enough to make the team, we're not going to keep you. So what I want you to do right now is look into your crystal balls and tell me, where is Leatherwood going to play in 2022? I want to know, being a Raider fan. I also know, though, because I'm an NFL junkie. So if you think he's going to stay with the Raiders, type LV. If you think he could end up going to another team, then type O. Coming up next here on today's show is a little bit of a split between the Raiders Report and NFL Daily. We're going to be looking at some Leatherwood trade destination. So I just went through a lot of the numbers, PFF, stats, all that kind of good stuff. But we're going to get into now 5 teams that I believe make the most sense to potentially make a trade for the Raiders' offensive linemen. Now, these aren't ranked in any particular order. It's simply just going off teams that have the biggest needs. So the first team coming up here, the Miami Dolphins. Last season, you want to talk about bad offensive lines. People like to complain about the Raiders. Dolphins had a much worse offensive line than the Silver and Black. On top of that, and the reason why some of this stuff makes sense, he grew up in Pensacola, Florida, which is actually not too far away from Miami. He's got some family down there. Him and Tua Tagovailoa, they actually played together at Alabama. All right, so maybe Tua would be like, hey, let's bring this guy in here. And he struggled against the pass rush, but I thought he actually handled the run blocking against Miami a little bit better. So if they decided to put him in at left guard, maybe instead of a Liam Eichenberg, it could be a project that ends up working out. The next team here, and this is one that a lot of media personnel are talking about. I don't know how much sense it actually makes for the Cowboys, but I figured I would give my 2 cents on it. Tyron Smith, likely done for the year. I can't even imagine essentially breaking my back of my knee and having my entire hamstring slide off. It sounds unbelievably painful. But Dallas, I do believe, could potentially use some offensive line depth. And even though I don't think he starts for the Cowboys, he has some versatility from his ties back with the Crimson Tide playing left tackle. He could play left guard. He could play right guard. He can't play right tackle, but hey, I guess maybe better than nothing. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Raiders Report, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to Chat Sports yet, please do so. You can see both links down there below. I run our Raiders channel. We got over 116,000 subs. I also make a lot of content for our main YouTube channel here at Chat Sports, which has 317,000. If you love the NFL, if you love the Raiders, I promise you, I'm always going to bring that energy. Let's go to the next team here that I believe could make some sense making the deal for Leatherwood. It's the Houston Texans. And the NFL is definitely it's a who-you-know type of business, right? At least that's just what it seems like. It just seems like the bunch of guys that go out and golf, they play poker together. Well, guess what? Raiders general manager Dave Ziegler and Houston Texans general manager Nick Caserio, they got a great relationship from all their time that they've spent together with the New England Patriots. Personally, I looked at this roster. Leatherwood right now would start at right guard for the Texans. That's how bad the Texans' offensive interior is at the guard position. As far as Houston has to go, what do you got to lose? You're the Houston Texans. Maybe Leatherwood actually turns out to be a first-round prospect. Cool. Make the deal happen. You got plenty of draft picks. all I'm saying is it does make some sense to me. The next team coming up here for my Leatherwood destinations, it's the New York Giants. And the Giants, to me, if you're a Giants fan right now, first off, I'm sorry. I know how many injuries y'all have been dealing with. It's kind of crazy. But the amount of injuries, not only on the defensive side of the football, but also on the offensive line, it's eye-popping. And even when the Giants' O-line is healthy, it's not great. I understand that Patrick Graham was the defensive coordinator, but he definitely still has some ties with some of the people there in New York. And on top of that, brand new head coach Brian Daboll. Guess who we won a national championship with back in 2017? Yep, you guessed it. Alex Leatherwood with the Alabama Crimson Tide. We still got a few more teams to just throw out there, but remember, y'all, you can always interact with me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram. Hell, I'm even on Venmo. I'm going to be doing a lot more giveaways on the Raiders Report, so it is important to add me as a friend on Venmo. I know, surprising. At Mitchell Renz 365. I do want to give some shout-outs, though. Some people who have been hitting me up on Twitter. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Pepito_76 Lewis. Dude, I appreciate all the messages you send me. And my big-time guy who threw me some serious cash on my other show was DJ Jimenez, Daniel Jimenez 0420. All the money that we get on our chat sports shows go to be able to make more content and hire the right people. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the last team on my Leatherwood destinations presented by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. And the reason why I'm going to throw Pittsburgh in here is because I've watched preseason games. Yeah, the Steelers' offensive line, from a pass blocking standpoint, looked pretty good. Run blocking standpoint has looked like dog shit. And I'm talking about the white dog shit that you find in a Step Brothers type of movie. James Daniels, that right guard, hasn't played well. You can't really go wrong with extra offensive line depth, and I'm excited to see Kenny Pickett. I'm excited to see Mitch Trubisky. I'm excited to see Mason Rudolph. But if the Steelers want to actually win football games, as far as I'm concerned, you got to go back to that old-school Steelers football, playing great defense, establishing a running game with Najee Harris. You can say what you want about Leatherwood. He's a better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. Now, those are my top 5 teams, but you know what? I'm an overachiever. At least I try to be. So here are some teams that I believe are honorable mentions. The Chicago Bears, the Tennessee Titans, Minnesota Vikings, New York Jets, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are my honorable mentions for Alex Leatherwood. So what do you think, y'all? What is Leatherwood worth in a trade? If I'm running the Raiders organization, I want at least a 4th-round pick. If you say a 5th-rounder, I'm going to say no. But maybe you wouldn't give up a 4th-rounder. I get it. It's fine. But if I'm also the Raiders, I'm going to hang on to him because I'm not going to cut him. The money-wise, it doesn't make sense. So let me know, let Raider Nation know down in the comments, what is Leatherwood worth in a trade?